Hello, everybody. It's Mo Fan here, back again with another rant. And like I promised from last week, I told you that this week that we'd be doing my rant on the DC animated movies, past, present, and future. And I'm gonna deliver. So I have a couple talking points. Of you know regarding the DC animated projects since about 2014. Now, I just kind of want to go a little bit before that, talk about the kind of golden era of the DC animated movies. Now, this is definitely a time to remember because most of their movies that they put out were pretty much bangers, like absolutely great. Like you got Batman Under the Red Hood, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern First Flight, like amazing stuff. And they're adaptations of comic book stories. Like excellent stuff. Like maybe there were a few things that kind of soured some movies, like Ben McKenzie as Batman in the Year One movie. Um, but like Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and Part 2. Fantastic. And some of my favorite Batman movies, live action or animated, of all time. Like, it is absolutely incredible stuff. And then after they released the Flashpoint Paradox is when things really started to slide downhill. Even at that time, for me, like, I noticed this stuff and I tried to keep on watching. And, there were maybe a couple diamonds in the rough, but, some things just didn't really work out. The first of which, I'm just going to get this out of the way now. The animated movie universe that they had that started with Justice League War and ended with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, that to me is a mess. Now, I didn't hate all of it, but there was a majority of it that just rubbed me the wrong way and soured, you know, DC animated projects. It was, I don't even know how many words to describe it. It was not a pleasant time to be a DC fan, especially if you were big into their animated projects. I mean, sure, you'd get some mediocre films from time to time. The Teen Titans movies of like the Justice League movie with Aquaman in the lead. Like, it was either really mediocre or just really, really bad. Like, Batman Bad Blood. That is an absolute travesty. That should not have been put out at all. And it's something that DC should regret every day for the rest of that company's existence. Like, it is terrible. I hate it with all my fiber. Sometimes, like, you get some good movies here and there. The Death of Superman, Reign of Superman. Like, I enjoyed those thoroughly. Justice League Dark, the first one, I thought it was entertaining. But most of it is just, the definition of mediocrity. Aside from those, like, you've had other projects in between those. Some of them were good. Like, Batman Assault on Arkham, I really enjoyed. Some of them were just kind of there. Gotham by Gaslight. it was a very weird time. I just, there's no other way to really say it. It was strange for not only lovers of animation, but also fans of DC Comics and their properties. So, they killed off the cinematic universe, which was basically like limping for like that last 4 years. Like, it wasn't pretty. So now we're in this kind of weird state where they're back to doing solo projects, but it's also looking like it's turning into a cinematic universe. Like, you got Superman Man of Tomorrow. We have that Justice Society movie that's coming out, and then this other one that looks to be part of that same kind of animation style, which is Batman Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. Now, I told everybody on Discord, I think I've said it on Twitter, but I am not a fan of them. If they are doing this, basically bringing another DC animated movie universe, I feel that, we're just burnt out at this point. We've already had one interconnected universe, and, if you're going to do it, at least give it some time. Like, the last one just ended in 2020. And Superman and Tomorrow came out later that same year. So, it's just very strange to me. And we're also at a time where cinematic universe they're dying down. Like, we have the Monsterverse, we have whatever the fuck they're doing at DC. I don't even know at this point. The Monsterverse, which may or may not be continuing. Like, cinematic universes are at an all-time low right now. And if they're supposedly doing this new one, like, I think it's just a bad call. But besides the, sort of cinematic universe they're doing, the animated universe, we also have these kind of projects in between, which are either interesting premise, bad execution, or just weirdly uninteresting. Like, you have Batman Death in the Family, which, is a sort of semi-sequel to Under the Red Hood, which people love to death. But it's also kind of a prequel-ish. For me, the premise is probably the best part of it. The choice to either kill Jason off, save him, or whatever the third... Like, that idea is interesting. Making an interactive movie around that is interesting. But I feel in execution, it doesn't work. When you watch the whole thing, and it doesn't really work for me. The only thing that worked was basically the abridged recap of Under the Red Hood, which even that is kind of unnecessary, since you could just go watch Under the Red Hood and you'll be fine. It's a great time. Like, still a really enjoyable movie. Like, one of DC's best that they've done in all of the animated movies that they've done over the years. Like, it's still remarkably great. I don't know, but I don't know if I can really keep on going with them. They're just losing my interest every movie they put out. Like Man of Tomorrow, I thought it was fine. Like, I enjoyed it. This Justice Society movie seems kind of neat. The one that I'm on the fence about the most is Batman Long Halloween. Because, sure, you're adapting this classic DC comic book, but you're doing your own thing with it, which is an issue, because the last time, like the other times you do stuff with these adaptations, you make these changes, It can either be a really good thing or a really bad thing. Like, a positive one that I can think of is the twist in Gotham by Gaslight. Like, that ending twist with Jack the Ripper. Like, I really enjoyed it. And then you got stuff that doesn't work, like The Killing Joke. I don't really need to say anything else. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's awful. Don't watch Killing Joke. Whatever you do. But so with this, like I mentioned in the podcast video I did, like, they're trying to make it fit in this supposed universe instead of just adapting the comic as is and making it work. You know, I want them to do something like they did with The Dark Knight Returns. Like, be as faithful to the comic as possible. And if they talk about, you know, some people say, like, the artwork, like, it wouldn't work for a movie. You know, they've done simplified designs in the past of comic book art. Superman, Batman, both of them. Dark Knight Returns, year one. Like, it's just, they know how to do it, but now they're just being really lazy about it. Or the creative teams just don't want to go through with it. Like, it infuriates me with these recent, you know, movies that they're doing. It's just they're picking and choosing rather than doing it as is. Like, I like the fact that they're doing it in two parts, because you can't really do The Long Halloween in one single movie. I also mentioned in the podcast that it feels kind of redundant since the Matt Reeves Batman movie is taking inspiration from Long Halloween. So you're having that right, you know, close to each other. And I don't think it doesn't, like, it just doesn't work, I feel. It's so sad because I want to be excited for this. Like, I really want to be excited for, you know, DC animated movies. I want to have the same feeling I did back in 2010 watching them and not feeling dread. But I think at this point, like, I'm pretty much in the minority because I know that a lot of people are enjoying what DC's doing now. Some of them, you know, very iffy on some movies. Like, I don't know what else to say. I hope that DC can be better. I want them to be better. But it's just the signs that they're given, they just don't work for me. But, you know, I wish all the creative teams the best. And I hope this all pans out, that it works for everybody. But I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be it for my rant. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Is there like a patch in the middle there? Let me know. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share all that fun stuff. Be sure to follow me on everything down below, such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also I have a Discord server if you're interested in joining. I will see you all next time. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. See ya.